I think it's been wonderful. We've successfully imported to Abuja from Lagos Fela's legacy, what Fela has been known for, and what Fela is all about. So the idea is to bring whatever fun that exists in Lagos to Abuja. Basically, this is so much fun. This is to combine strategies, experience, corporate business, and do this as much as possible. And make sure it's also profitable, such that it's sustainable, over time. So we intend to do this as many as possible.
Millennium baby. This song is 21 years old. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
Like my father could read and write, but he wanted to prove a point that you did not need education to be successful. But it was a very big risk, I think. I wouldn't want to take that risk with my father because I know the turmoil that happened in my life to be where I am today. So the feeling is very much different because my son stands with confidence, which I did not have at that time. I had to develop that confidence in another way, a very difficult way. My son stands very confident. He doesn't just hear, he can see all the notes.
That's so passionate to hear. And you're a multiple Grammy nominee. Your brother was also nominated. How can you describe the Nigerian music industry now? The Afrobeats with an S, not the legendary Afrobeat.
I keep saying I'm not one that will criticize young people who are trying to excel and they're not gangsters or doing things that they are playing music and we all dance to the music. This is where government comes into play. When you see young people want to excel, then it's the duty of government to put all the infrastructures in place for them to do it properly. My fear is that when all of these young boys grow and become my age, if they are not careful, they will become irrelevant. Why? Because they play no musical instruments, they can't read, they can't write, and after a while people start to wonder. You can't do what you are doing in your 20s, in your 30s, or in your 40s, or your 50s. When you can't lift another generation with you, then you start to fade away. The only thing that saves you is you are learning an instrument. And in everybody's life, there are ups and downs. Everybody goes through where things just don't happen. That is where the musician has to go back into his workshop and start to work harder. I still do 6 hours of practice every day. I have to. So some people just wonder why you still playing the same note you have been doing for 4 decades. But that's the only way to survive.
When you were dancing on stage, to be honest, I was like, is it going to fall? And you said you've been doing this for over 4 days.
Yes, I have to. And the minute I cannot, so already I'm planning that when I can't dance, I must have something else to replace the dance. So already my son is ready, so I'm already grooming him. I have 6 other children playing music. So already, by the time I'm probably in my 60s, music is probably more difficult, probably the most difficult subject. So people just think it's just fame, fortune, and all that. Music, it has never been and will never be about that. All that is secondary. Music is, when you see the musical notes, that's why people run away from really studying music, because when you see it, you can get migraine. You just look and say, what's this?
Try this sometime.
You shy away. So, and that's just one part. Then there's the learning of the musical instrument. There are thousands of seasoned musicians. How do you become the best out of so many? How do people identify the sound of your own musical, where people just say, that's Fela Nicola Pukuti? That means you must have done a lot of hard work musically to be able to be identified. And then when you find your voice, to keep on developing and developing forever and ever. That's hard work.
The most memorable story of him and I, of me and him, was when he came to my naming ceremony. So one of my names is Afolabi. That's the name he gave me. But I don't have any memories that I can recollect. But I have stories of me being with him, if you understand. Yeah.
What do you cherish the most? I mean, being a part of that heritage, that dynasty, that empire.
The one thing I always say that connects and dictates my values the most from the legacy is integrity. There is a strong sense of honor, and I don't see that, not that I don't see it enough, I don't see it being pursued as much as I think the people in this entire continent need to find it, need to chase after it. So integrity, the way we think, the way we abide by our values, all the strongest things that connect to us and make us do good.
What about your do you have any body of works? Do you have an album or something out there?
There should be an album coming out next year around March. So I'm working on it this November. We're going to record it in Paris. And I think the biggest selling point is I'll be playing all the instruments myself.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what kind of sound, what kind of genre? Will it be the Afrobeat or will it be a mix?
It's a fusion of so many things, man. I mean, it's a huge fusion. There's a lot of electronics. There's obviously jazz. There's a lot of, rhythmic influence from West Africa. So yeah.
Havana, unana. My mother's in a
Nothing you could do without using water. Don't go, oh, mio, water.